Hello, I'm Ellie Gladwell, head mentor of Team Cold Logic, and today we'll be doing a workshop on Arduino. An Arduino is a popularly used microcontroller or a programmable circuit board. Arduino are used for creating small electronic projects. In FRC, we can actually use Arduino to extend the capabilities of the RoboRio to work better with sensors and servo motors. Arduino are also often used to create prototypes and models during the design process. What's the difference between an Arduino and a Raspberry Pi? Simply put, a Raspberry Pi is a microcomputer rather than a microcontroller. An Arduino can only really run a single process, a single body of code at a time, whereas a Raspberry Pi can run multiple. Arduino come in all different shapes and sizes to fit your needs. Different boards will have a different number of pins or ports, and some Arduino may have extra capabilities such as native Ethernet connection or a better processor. One commonly used model of Arduino is the Arduino Nano, which is one of, if not the smallest Arduino available. Being so small, they're great for small projects and prototyping. These Arduino are also fairly cheap, as you can get a 3-pack on Amazon for just $15. Another common of Arduino is the Arduino Uno, which is a slightly larger Arduino model. This is often many people's first Arduino, as it comes in a lot of starter kits. Some things to note about this model are that the pin ports are actually already attached to the board, whereas with the Nano they had to be manually soldered on. And also the Uno has a separate USB and power port, separating the power from the connection to the computer. One other model I wanted to mention is the Arduino. This model is actually an Arduino Uno modified to plug directly into the RoboRio. Rev has at this time discontinued the Arduino, however the Arduino Uno and Nano are FRC legal. A breadboard is a thin plastic board used for prototyping electronic projects. The center row of the board are called terminal strips. They are used to hold the majority of the electronic components, whereas the bus strips on the outside provide power. Arduino use pulse width modulation, just like the PWM cables you would use on an FRC robot. Basically, the cables, or sometimes called jumpers, carry a series of high and low signals to pass info to and from the Arduino. There are also a countless number of Arduino shields, which are like expansion boards for the Arduino to give it additional capabilities. These include Wi-Fi shields, shields with additional pins, external power supplies, and more. To write code for your Arduino, you'll want to use the free Arduino IDE, which can be downloaded straight from the Arduino website. Arduino code is written in C++. Here's an example of what your base Arduino code will look like. You'll notice there are two sections. The first is the setup, where you will declare things like motors, sonars, light strips, whatever components you plan to manipulate. The second section will contain the process you want the Arduino to run. The first section will only run once when the Arduino is first booted up, whereas the second section will run continuously until the Arduino loses power. If you're looking for an introduction to using Arduino or a way to test Arduino projects without breaking out the hardware, Tinkercad has a free web-based service called Circuits, which allows you to simulate Arduino projects. Just like with the Tinkercad 3D design library, you can share your circuit designs and try out the designs of others as well. Thank you for watching this week's workshop, and I hope you'll join us next week for another workshop.